I've had a couple weird ghost dreams lately
Okay.
where I wake up and you know how I hallucinate
Right,
a little
yeah.
bit,
Uh-huh.
which we'll get into at
It's one
some
of my
point.
favorites.
I know you're fucked. When I was this is for when I was like maybe 17, we lived above the garage and like
Right.
this like amazing. Actually, now I know it was an amazing apartment.
Right, yeah.
Now I know
It was huge.
it was huge, and I remember waking up one morning. Do you remember this? And I was like, or waking up
Yeah,
in the middle of the night.
I did it.
And I was like, no. But do you remember the precursor
Yeah.
to what you did? Which
Yeah.
you did do something.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's all started when after I had seizures.
Yeah.
My brain got weird.
Yeah.
And I remember waking up in the middle of the night and there was a little boy sitting on my bed.
Yeah, I remember. You woke me up.
And I woke you up and I was like, hey, man, we got to find this motherfucker.
Did you see him? There's a 12-year-old boy sitting on
Yep.
my bed.
And we got to find him. And then eventually I like kind of snap out of it. I'm like, never mind, good night.
That's right.
Go to bed. The next night, I get off work, I come home, and I go to bed, and I put my hand on my pillow, and I feel a leg. I feel a leg. I was like, ah! And you had put a doll underneath my
I
bed
had found
for my
a Cabbage Patch doll.
pillow. I know.
Threw
It's brother to brother.
Threw it under your pillow. Okay, but you.
Such a dick.
So the same night you had the vision of the 12-year-old,
Okay. Oh.
you fell back asleep, and then I walked over and I
You
sat on the
diddled
end
me.
of your bed. No, I sat on the end of your bed,
Oh, yeah,
And
that's
I
right. That's right.
jostled your leg, and was like, "John."
I remember
Sure.
this
And
now.
you woke up and threw your pillow at me. You were pretty mad.
Well,
you were
the
pretty mad.
So here's the truth.
So then I followed up the next night. I was like, "Well, I'm gonna escalate."
And also, you did the best prank I've ever had
I was not
happen
going
to
to
me
eat.
in my
I was
life.
gonna go eat dinner.
Yeah, so we lived above the garage in the back house, or above the garage out back. And I remember you were like, I'm going to go eat dinner, and you left.
Yeah.
And literally 45 minutes passed.
That's right.
And then I got done with what I was doing, which was probably just jacking off.
Yeah.
And
You're patient.
I decided, I have to, when
Once
somebody,
per episode, we have to.
what's the amount of time you have to wait before somebody leaves before you start jerking it? But dude, this is
Just
and I
around
will
the
say,
corner, the door closes.
I actually do credit this as being the greatest prank ever pulled on me. Is in our backyard was a lot of like
Rose
trees
bushes
and
and
rose
trees.
bushes and shit, and you had to walk. You had to go down. You had to walk through a lot of brush.
Yeah.
And to get to the main house, and I waited about 45 minutes, and I walked to the kitchen. And you jumped out of the bushes, and you're like, ah! And like literally, I fell to my knees. I've never
the
been
best
so
one.
terrified. I've never been so terrified and so proud.
I waited the whole time. I
You
was
were there
just
for
waiting.
45 minutes.
Just waiting.
Like if I would have been shitting and wiping my ass with leaves.
Yeah, I was just waiting.
I still to this day I'm like, that's the best. Because who does that?
You know,
It's a psychopath.
psychopath.
You're a fucking insane person. You were standing in the bushes.
I was kneeling
Were
or
y-
squatting.
When you were there,
Like
were
I
you
was-
like, I'm here until he comes
Yeah,
downstairs?
that's it.
And it wasn't the daytime.
No, it was night.
I might have fallen asleep.
Yeah.
Would you have been there all night?
I think I probably would have checked on you just to see, or I would
You-
have thrown something up.
Oh,
the
have we
window.
talked about? Have we talked about my favorite interaction with you in that apartment?
Yeah, I think we did. You and I think David Todd or Joe Brown or somebody walking up the stairs.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we've never. Have we talked about it?
Yeah, we did.
We
Go
have.
ahead, you can
Well,
say
we're
it
gonna
again.
redo it.
That's the best.
So,
That was back in the era before boxer briefs. It was just loose boxers or tidy whities.
dude,
Those were your
it
options.
was my friend Joe Brown, who I love, and I haven't talked to in a while. I should reach out, but I remember we were like downstairs hanging out. We're like, let's go upstairs. We go upstairs, and you were asleep.
It was like 2 a.m.
Well, maybe, sure, but you had loose boxers,
That's right.
and your balls were just
Grown man.
pressed against the window.
Beautiful.
I'll never forget. Just fucking, mwah! Just fucking kissing that window, dude.
Suction cupped him.
It really was. It was like an octopus arm, dude.
Yeah, my octopus teacher kind of. just move. They just
Yeah, that's
go.
what that movie was
It goes
about.
to
dude.
the light. My balls going towards
It was
the light.
amazing, dude. It was like two testicles just perfectly like sucked to a window.
Yeah.
And how did you get that close to the window? I'll still never know.
Yeah. Just,
But it was
I
amazing.
probably was just
I mean, honestly, it
dragged
was
by
just
them.
two
Like
balls.
it's like photosynthesis. Just they just angle towards the light and just go.
That's hilarious. I'll never forget that. By the way, have you seen my mug?
I like it. Yes, I also saw your medal. They matched.
I want a
Coffee
medal.
Run. Do you buy the mug?
Well, you pay for it before you run. So
Oh,
they- yes,
so your entry
technically
fee,
you do.
they give you a mug.
I ran a 5K.
You ran? Did you run or walk?
No, I ran the entire thing.
Okay, I saw your video on Instagram and it's hilarious.
Oh, so can we attach that to the? And attach just the kids stuff
Just
because
the-
I got dusted by so many old ladies
Just
and
go on
children.
Instagram and look at it. John Patrick Wells comedy.
No, well, whatever.
Yeah.
But they gave you this mug, and I got a participation medal.
You know, I wish that like the mug
Oh,
and the
Twist it over.
I
did
wish
the
that the mug and the they matched the color.
Yeah, well, they don't put a lot of thought into these things, dude.
Yeah.
They're just it's a money
Like it
grab.
could have been red. Just make it red.
Well, the whole thing was like it's the coffee run, and I was running. I was like, "What are we running?"
Did you
for?
get coffee?
Yep.
They gave you free coffee before or after?
After.
If you had had coffee before, do you think you finished 5K before you have diarrhea?
Well, no, I don't finish anything before diarrhea, dude. I start with.
Where was the
diarrhea.
so where was the run in town? 5K.
Just at the river walk.
Have you ever run a 5K before?
Yes, I have. I've done some turkey trots.
Yeah, but were you actively in shape and running at that
I've
time?
never been actively in shape.
Okay. How did you do?
I've been delusionally in shape.
Was this hilly or was it pretty flat?
Oh, it's super flat.
All right. So it's 5K, 3.1 miles.
I finished. I ran the whole thing. I finished 22nd in my age group.
20 out of how many?
28.
28? Okay. What was your time?
40.
40. Okay.
So a little over 13-minute miles.
I don't know how I would do right now.
Oh, and the thing that bothered me the most, dude.
Is with that small child was your pacer
No,
the whole way?
And by the way, stick around and watch the
It's
video.
like a
after.
nine
Watch the video.
nine-year-old that was just like
No, that wasn't it.
you were like
No.
you were drafting off a 9-year-old
No. The thing that bothered
and a
me.
lady that had a stroller with a baby in it.
Well, she destroyed me. The thing that bothered me the most.
Can't beat a mom. This is nice, by the way. Make sure it's classic.
So this is what was happening. There was these two very attractive women.
Okay.
Okay. And they would pass me, and immediately upon passing me, they would stop
And walk or just
and
stand?
and walk.
Okay, so you would pass.
And then
them.
I would keep running. And
Right.
then 3 minutes later, they would pass me, and immediately upon passing me, they would stop.
So you were their target.
I was their pace setter. Dude, I was like, fuck off. I ran by them. I was like, I'm not your pace setter, bitches. But it turns out I
you were.
was their
Who,
pace setter.
did they finish before you?
No, I had a good kick.
You
at
kicked
the
hard at the end.
Prefontaine.
Is that why
style,
you
dude.
barely could walk up the 2 stairs
Dude,
outside?
I cannot. I will say.
What hurts?
Okay. If
What
you've wa-
doesn't hurt?
if
What
you've-
doesn't hurt?
If you've watched the podcast,
Yeah,
you will learn that I'm a very fidgety person.
that's right.
My leg will not move from this. Everything. No, the only quads are dusted.
Did you calf cramp at all?
No, my I could have probably done another mile
Okay,
at that pace.
that's a pretty good distance.
I
to
could
run.
have done another mile, but the old hip flexies
No good.
and my quads are like destroyed. Like I'm walking down, and there's literally a total of 6 stairs here.
Yeah,
Every one of those stairs, I go down backwards.
it's this age, man. We're aged.
Dude, it was a lot.
Did I tell you Colin's enlisting in the Marines?
No, you didn't. Your son, Colin.
Yep, my second son. He's 18.
What is he doing?
He wants to be a combat engineer. They build stuff. They build like infrastructure stuff. They do recon and then they blow stuff up.
How do I feel about that?
So, well, I've
How do you
always
feel about that?
good. I think it's like a good.
No,
move.
how do you really feel?
That's how I
about
really feel. I told my wife
Because
last
you're
year,
like,
I thought,
because you got enough, you could lose one.
yeah, that's right. I thought last year military was probably a good move, but like I told him, I never told him. I wanted him. He was going to come to the idea he wanted to go to the military and not separately.
Well, I think actually of all your kids, and I love all your kids, but he actually, I think for me and who I am, I'm like, oh, that's the kid I would want to like.
Yeah, he's a tough kid. He's an
Well,
outdoors
he's very,
kid.
but he also loves building shit.
Yes.
Like I vibe with that.
He will never.
I think it's gonna be good.
He will not. He's not a sit in a office
Do you
in
get the
front of a
GI
computer.
Bill if you're in the Marines?
It's government issue. Yeah. It's, unless Trump takes it away,
Well, which is probably going to
it's
happen.
probably gonna happen.
I know.
Yeah, no,
Good
I'm excited
thing
for. What I was
good
gonna
thing
say
I
was
voted for Nancy Kerrigan,
That's
the
right.
figure skater.
she all teeth.
Oh man, the chompers. Wait, so hold on. This is new
So
news.
what was I gonna? Yeah. So he's meeting with recruiters. He's met with them a couple times, and then he's going to take whatever. It's not the ASVAB, but it's a version, something like the ASVAB.
What is that? You
Remember the
can't-
ASVAB?
Don't use acronyms.
ASVAB. We took the ASVAB when we were in high school. It's the military test. You
Do
take it,
not
and then it puts you on a
take
recruit.
do not use acronyms.
I don't
dude.
know what it stands for.
Like I'm doing the substitute teaching thing. And they're like, "Oh, well, all you gotta do is pass the BT plus SD," and I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking
Yeah, no,
about?"
but the ASVAB is the military. It's like a standardized test for the military. We took them in high school.
But
Even
he'll
when we
do
were in
good.
high school.
He's actually really smart.
Yeah, well,
which is
talked to him.
shocking because I know his
He took a
father.
practice test. He took a practice test and he did bad in math. He goes,
Oh.
"Yeah, so I'm studying algebra right now," which he never would have done in school. So the
yeah,
idea,
he's calling of your children is the most. Well,
No, my kids are
Maddie,
studious.
Maddie and Colin are the most like me.
artsy study.
well,
things you
they're also
enjoy.
like, fuck it, I don't need that shit.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's dope. I'll give him a call tomorrow.
Well, what I was gonna say was he's been running because he's trying to get his time down, and he ran 1.7 miles in like 10.5 minutes.
That's pretty fast.
Yeah, it's like 5.5, 6 minute mile.
Can you tell him to quit being a pussy
Yeah.
and get to 2.5 or
He is
3?
like, well, they had 1.5 is the standard test.
You tell
He's
him
running. He's
you
running.
say,
he's running against the Marine standard
Tell
test.
him Uncle John, who is a degenerate smoker, who leads an entirely sedentary life, just dusted a 9-year-old.
I-
He must be pretty far back. I don't see him out there. I think I can walk now.
This part here is the hardest part.
I have a picture of me running a 5K and barely passing like a 11-year-old on the finish line.
Were you exhausted with the cardiovascular or the body?
My
Good.
problem, the first time I ever ran a 5K, I had these overweight friends, and they were
Do
like,
you
"You got to
consider
come
yourself
out."
a friend?
Yeah, I had these overweight acquaintances. I had these my friends. They were like, "Hey, you should come and do these 5Ks." There's out at Calm, the California Living Museum. So it was
Which,
around
by
that.
the way, is a living museum.
It is. So it's downhill, then it's dirt along the
Right.
river, and then uphill back. And I did not train,
No,
so I ran it.
it's not like.
But I
you.
wasn't in bad shape then. I was in okay shape. I was younger too. I was in my early 30s, and I ran it 32. But when I finished, my calves were so cramped up, I sat on a rock for like 30 minutes before I could actually stand up and walk. So then I started running, and I got pretty good shape. I ran it in 25 the last
What's
time.
your like lowest 3 miles?
25?
So what is that, like 19 minutes a mile?
Yeah, a little over 8. My fastest 2 mile was
It's pretty fast.
I ran a 2 mile just under 14, so under 7-minute mile pace.
So the first thing after I did this whole run, and we'll get back to your kid.
Could you sit down and how was taking a poop after this? Like,
Oh, I've never until yesterday or what, Sunday. This is Tuesday. It was the first time I took a shit where I had to decide to stand up.
okay,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I had to make a decision. I was like, "Are we doing this?
I'm
Or
gonna
we're
stay
gonna
here
go?"
until the legs go numb.
Oh yeah, dude. It's that thing.
This is drama online with TikTok on TikTok.
Because is TikTok still happening?
Yeah,
I thought-
TikTok's still around.
I thought I got banned.
No, Trump 4 years ago said he was going to ban it.
But he did ban it, I thought.
Well, that went through right, and then he saved it. Then he brought it back.
Did he make a deal with the Chinese?
I think what happened is they basically transitioned all the servers over to Facebook and Meta.
Yeah, because they're like, well, we can't take as much as I don't care about people that make a shit ton of money doing stupid stuff. You're like, well, I don't want to take their livelihood away. Like, they're making money because people like it.
Yeah, I don't think he's concerned too much about what people are doing and making money on.
No, I mean, I'm not a pro or anti. And you know me, I'm so dead centered, dude. I think it's growing up. Actually, I blame you a lot for this.
Just debate.
Because you could argue both sides of a coin.
Well, I think that
so
it's
to survive in our household, like in an argument, I had to be like, if I take the middle ground, then when you made a decision where you were going, I was like, well, I'll take this. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's important. The way I would describe it is it forces people to be nuanced.
I agree, and I really do. I really hate this whole thing where,
Like you need to be. I think.
oh, this is gonna sound so like heady and whatever, but like Marcus Aurelius.
Yeah.
One of the things he wrote Meditations, which if you haven't read it, read it. It's fucking. It doesn't hurt you to read it. It's just amazing. Which we've talked about how it is all those nice things, but I really do think it's just
His like
yeah.
encouragements to himself.
Encouragement to himself.
Be
for
better.
Sure. Be better. But one of the things he talks about is the
Epicurean.
Epictetus. Is that what his name?
I don't know.
But he disagreed with him.
Right. Yeah.
But he really made a point to talk about how even though he disagrees with 90%, he doesn't deny the things that he said that he does agree with.
Right.
And I think there's a big problem in society now where we really, if you 90% disagree with somebody, you just deny the last 10% you agree with. And I think that that's dumb.
I think that in some cases it's I disagree with 10%, so I disagree with 100%.
That's I think okay, but way better put.
Yeah, it's
You're very smart. You're much smarter than I am, and we know that. But like that's exactly right. I think that I could disagree with you a lot, but also I'm not going to deny the 10% or whatever. That I'm like, oh well, that makes sense.
Yeah. In general, I think most people's opinions are strong because it's coming from a place of like real emotions.
Or fear.
Fear. It's mostly fear because fear is very powerful. And to the reason why most things don't get done is nobody addresses the fact that everybody's afraid.
Well, it's also like, okay, cool. I don't like. I mean, you and I are very close.
Mm-hmm.
I probably agree with 4%.
It's up to 7.
But I love maybe 7.
Down to
but I
4.
love that 7.
Yeah, I think it's important. Like, okay, so this is so one of the layoff things that's happening is in the national parks. I don't know if you're familiar with this. All these.
I've never heard of the phrase national parks.
You've heard the term national parks.
I've never been to one.
You've been to several.
I've been to a lot.
So there's a lot of layoffs going on, but there's this campaign that's happening on TikTok regarding national parks and visiting places in the outdoors, and these TikTok accounts are run. It's like the best drama feud stuff I've ever seen. Okay, so let me give you an example. Are you familiar with Mount Hood?
I mean, I know what Mount Hood is.
Okay, Mount Hood is the tallest mountain in Oregon.
Yeah.
And it's part of this range where it's like the 4th tallest.
I've
mountain.
been to the base of it.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, if you say mountain, I could promise you, I've never been to the peak.
Yeah, this one's like
I've been to the base of a lot.
like
of
11,000 feet or something.
I want a shirt that says, "Hi, I'm John. Been to the base
Yeah, base
of
camp
a
1.
lot of mountains.
Yeah.
Base camp 1, many mountains."
Yeah, you're not the 26.2 sticker on the
No,
back.
dude, fuck
It's
that
I
shit.
looked up. I looked up at a mountain.
Although I gotta say, to bring it back to the 5K, I hadn't ran a lot, but I had hiked a few times, like some difficult hikes over the last 3 months, and I do really believe that that's what got me through.
That makes sense.
That and a deep self-hatred.
Yeah, also your lung capacity is probably pretty good from smoking.
Dude, shocking. I will say the shocking thing.
No breathing problems.
I smoke a pack of, let's say, in a pack of 24-hour period, which means by 11:30 in the morning, I need a new pack.
Okay.
So I don't smoke a pack a day, but over 24 hours I do. I had no cardiovascular problems.
Yeah.
My physical body was shut down.
Just organs just bleeding.
Yeah, and I was like, it's just diarrhea. You know, that's a weird thing you have to say to yourself. It's just
That's
diarrhea.
just
Keep
diarrhea.
going. It's just diarrhea.
Don't film me from behind.
Please don't film. Oh, how great was that woman?
That video. Hey, just to shit
She's like,
myself.
I'm running. Do not film me from
Yeah,
behind.
I just
shit myself.
And the guy's like, yeah, right.
And if I was the cameraman, you know, the first thing I would have done is
Pivot.
just fucking pivot, dude.
Just
I'm getting that
He
doo-doo.
was professional. All right, so Mount Hood's the tallest mountain in Oregon. It's like
Okay.
11,000 feet or something. Mount Rainier is the tallest mountain in Washington. It's the tallest mountain in the
Yep.
same range. Okay.
I've seen it. I've been at the base of that one.
Okay.
I've actually been at the base of that one a few times.
They are
Base camp at Mount Rainier, pretty great, pretty
okay.
wild.
They are feuding on TikTok, and it's pretty great. Okay. So somebody posted this on Mount Rainier's page. Mount Hood's body count is about 150. Mount Rainier's body count is over 400. Just saying. And Mount Rainier responded, "Yeah, that's right, and you know what we're really talking about." And then tagged
Oh,
Mount Hood in
shit.
it.
Mount Hood got tagged in it. They got
Yeah.
brought in.
And then Mount Hood went another step and said, "Mount Rainier is proud of its body count much higher than Hood and Helen's combined." So we have these mountains that are feuding over, I don't know if it's body count of how many have died on it, probably, or how many
Well, body
are
count
going
means
to the
deaths,
top.
dude. Body. Oh no. Oh. Are you saying how many people died or how many people did the mountain have sex with?
Yeah, I think it's how many I had sex with. Yeah. So then Mount Hood responds, "Due to Rainier's extreme rudeness and the spread of blatant misinformation, we've decided to end the truce. It's a very sad day, and it's all Rainier's fault." So they're going back and forth.
Wait.
They're going back and forth. These two mountains, and then other national parks
Or
and
chiming
locations are just getting in on this thing. So Yosemite chimes in. "Do you see how Mount Hood is treating us? It's not fair. Yes, we're just a small account, but you should be nicer." Mount Hood responds, "Stop crying."
in. You say Yosemite, not Yosemite.
You say it was YO.
Oh, I know, but if you were like around friends and not having a microphone in your hand, I think you would say Yosemite.
Just say Yosemite.
That's how you would say it.
Yosemite? What am I saying?
Yosemite.
Yosemite. Okay, I don't know.
You're doing the O too hard.
So then Yellowstone gets in.
Wait, Yellowstone?
Yeah, Yellowstone, yeah.
The national park?
Word on the street is, even with the big mouth at Yosemite's national park, doesn't have the skills and everyone leaves unsatisfied. Yellowstone responds, "Everyone stays satisfied at Yellowstone."
Except for those fucking white ladies trying to take a photo of a fucking bison and getting tossed in the air, dude.
So
By the way, that's one of my favorite things
Oh,
online is to watch white ladies
just idiots send
get
their kids
fucking chucked.
just go get close to a bison.
They're fucking idiots,
It's
dude.
like people that think I'm gonna go touch a moose, and you're like, a moose is bigger than your car.
I wouldn't go face to face with an alpaca.
They're terrifying.
They're
Have you ever seen an
scariest,
alpaca?
dude.
It's shaved with the head just has hair
No,
on
don't want to
it.
do
Terrifying
that.
looking.
What are you talking about, man? Hold on, you just put another fear zone in my life.
That's just completely
Wait, they
shaved,
shave them?
like a hairless cat,
Oh no!
but the head they keep the hair on the head.
Why?
That's how they get the alpaca.
No, why keep
Fur.
the hair though?
Probably so it doesn't just look like
Because
a
the alpacas don't feel
giant-
bad about themselves.
giant terrifying.
Because the truth
creature.
is, this is what I know. If you make an alpaca feel bad about themselves, they will destroy humanity. I'm more afraid of alpacas than any animal
No,
because their eyes are big and they look at you and they're like, but like
they
they look at you.
they do. They show them at the fair and they dress them up and dye their hair and stuff and do costumes.
Like,
It's
has your
crazy.
wife ever like been sexually on top of you and you see that she's looking into your soul?
like an alpaca?
That's like an alpaca. It's an alpaca. Dude.
All right, so this is the
Wait,
thing.
so I love that the mountains are talking shit.
The mountains, national parks, Death Valley.
With Death Valley
Death
got
Valley
involved?
got involved. It's
Ooh, who's
all-
the winner?
literally all TikTok and all of these national parks and national forests and mountain ranges, giant feuds going. It's
That's
the
pretty
it's the
fun.
single greatest marketing
It's pretty fun.
shit talking.
One,
thing I've ever
Death
seen.
Valley destroys those bitches.
Right. So this is actually.
I mean, Death Valley destroys them. They're like, yeah, how high are you? I'm this much below. You want to come here in fucking August? Dead. Everybody's dead.
everybody's dead.
1,000% dead.
All right. So this is what I wanted to do with you.
Okay.
There are 63 national parks.
Okay.
Okay. There's a lot more, like including national forests
love
and
this,
stuff.
by the way.
There are 63 national parks in the country.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
There are 9 in California.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to give you the 9.
I can't name them yet.
It's okay. I'm going to give them to you. 1 versus 1.
Can I?
You got to pick who. You just got to pick.
Sequoia.
Okay. No, I'm going to give you them.
Well, I want to name a couple.
Okay. So
Sequoia.
is a national park. Yes.
Double Sequoia.
No.
Wait, hold Sequoia. You
Sequoia.
got
We've already mentioned 1.
Joshua Tree.
Joshua Tree is 1. We've mentioned 2 actually. Other than those,
Yosemite.
Yosemite.
That's in California?
Yeah.
When you say Yosemite, I thought you meant Yosemite.
Oh yeah, that's also in California.
Yosemite.
Uh-huh.
Big Bear?
No, that's just this mountain.
This is
It's
an
a-
area?
Yeah.
Okay, give me the other ones.
All
That's
right.
all I got.
So I'm gonna give them to you. I'm gonna give them to you as
Mojave?
no. I'm gonna give them to you as a pair,
Which one's better?
and you pick which one is better.
I don't know if I've even been to all of them, but okay.
Okay. All right. So, first one, the Channel Islands. The Channel Islands are off the coast of Santa Barbara. They're like where Catalina is. There's a bunch of islands, but it does not include Catalina.
Can I Google a photo?
Okay. So Channel Islands, they get 330,000 visitors per year. Okay.
I've never. Oh wait, they're a national park.
Yes.
So is Catalina a national
It's
park?
not part of it. No. It's the islands just above it.
Channel
Santa
Islands.
Rosa, San Miguel Island, Santa Barbara Island. The Channel Islands. They have like
Give me a second, dude, because I've never been there. I've clearly never been there. I've never heard of it. But let me look at this.
well, you can't drive a car on it. There's no bikes, no motorcycles. You can hike it.
Versus what?
Versus Kings Canyon. Kings Canyon is where the General Grant tree is. The
Oh,
giant sequoia.
I've been there recently.
Yeah, okay. So you have Kings Canyon versus Channel
Well,
Islands.
Can we do one and then move on?
You got to pick your winner. Whoever you pick as a winner goes up against the next one.
So
So Channel
no,
Islands.
there's not a bracket.
No. Channel Islands
The
versus
one
Kings
with the
Canyon.
General Sherman is. I
This-
mean, those
this is
trees
the General
are pretty
Grant tree.
amazing.
Yeah.
General Grant,
Which is the it's
not General Sherman.
no, General Grant's like 275 feet tall. It's considered like the second tallest tree in the country or in
Oh,
the
but
world.
General Sherman's still in play here.
General Sherman's in a different national park.
But he's okay. So I'm gonna go with the islands, what I've never been to, because that's
You're going to go
looks dope.
Channel Islands over Kings Canyon.
Yeah,
Okay?
because I know the other one, and that's pretty rare.
Okay. No, so Channel Islands versus Lawson Volcanic National Park, which I never heard of.
How do you even say? How do you spell
Lawson,
that?
Lassen, Lawson Volcanic. It's in Northern California.
Lassen. All right.
So
Oh,
Kings Canyon got 643,000 visitors per year. So double Channel Islands, but it's also more accessible. All right, so Channel Islands versus Lawson Volcanic National Park.
I'm gonna stick with the islands.
Okay. All right, Channel Islands versus Pinnacles National Park. Have you ever heard of
Dude,
Pinnacles?
none is the golf
Pinnacles-
ball.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's very firm. Pinnacles is a big mountain
You know, I
climbing
call
area.
my penis pinnacle.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
super
Firm,
firm.
no spin.
As my mom and
Yeah.
our sister walk in.
No spin.
by.
So Pinnacles is in Salinas.
Where's that? That's like
it's like
Grapes
where-
of Wrath style.
Yeah, that's where.
Okay.
what's
I'm
his
going with the
face?
tropical.
So you're sticking with
for
Channel
sure. Yeah,
Islands.
for sure.
Okay, Channel Islands versus.
But by the way, are we gonna go?
Yeah, we should go to all of these. I wanna
Okay,
hit
you
some
want
of
to
these.
do like a
I'd
thing
like to
where we do
hit the
videos?
national parks.
Can we do like a
Yeah.
bro trip where we bring a person to film us and we go to the national parks
Yeah.
in California?
That'd be great.
Okay, I'm into it.
All right, so now we have Channel Islands versus Death Valley.
Never been to Death Valley, but I will say
haven't either.
our father, who I feel maybe never. If I ever ask him where do you want to go, he always says Death Valley.
Okay.
So I'm gonna choose Death Valley, non-summer, clearly,
Yeah.
but he seems that's his mystical, magical.
It's
place.
the hottest place in the country.
I
in
think
the
it's
summer.
one of the hottest places in the fucking world.
Is it? Okay. So you're going
They
Death
get
Valley.
100. They get 130, and there's very few places in the world that get over 100.
So the Channel Islands is the 9th most visited of all of the.
I've never
of the
heard
9,
of it.
And Million Valley's the third most.
This is
visited.
just
over 1 million
California.
people visit Death Valley. This is just California.
Yeah, so based on our father
Death
and
Valley.
his drive, like this is true. Before Dad dies, I'm like, okay, I have to take him to Death Valley. The problem is our mom, never. She's like, I'm not going to that. So I have to figure that out. But
Yeah.
like, yes, I think Death Valley is going to be pretty high on the list.
Okay. Death Valley versus.
And also, I love the desert.
that's true. Well, so
The
this,
desert's my favorite.
the next one's going to be an interesting matchup then. Death
Joshua Tree.
Valley versus Joshua Tree.
I've never been to Death Valley,
Okay.
but I've been to Joshua Tree.
Joshua Tree's second most visited.
And when
in
I was
the
in
state.
Joshua Tree,
3 million people.
I went to a bar in Joshua Tree,
Okay.
and there was a man there that I met, and he had heart sunglasses. He
Like-
was inside at night,
Okay.
and I
He was
and
that guy.
we and he was chatting me up, And I was like, I don't like this guy at all. And then I was like, what's your name, man? He goes, it's Shenanigans.
Okay.
And I said, what? He goes, yeah. I was given that name at a ayahuasca ceremony in Arizona. And I was like, I want you to die a painful death. So I'm choosing Death Valley.
You don't want to run back into
If you've
shenanigans.
never been to Joshua Tree, it's one of the most fantastic, amazing places. I've been there, and actually I do love it. But based on Shenanigans versus Death Valley, where I don't think Shenanigans is, I'm choosing Death Valley.
I would love.
I'm gonna choose
I
a
hope
place.
you end up in Death Valley and Shenanigans.
Oh man,
is
dude, he will be. He will. Listen, there's a version of Shenanigans in any
In
fucking tiny town.
Every
dude.
national park has a Shenanigans.
I'll never forget it.
Those are the guys that go to
He's
go
like-
to national
He's
parks.
like,
as
I was like, "What's your
Shenanigans.
name?" And I'm John. He goes, "It's Shenanigans." I was just loudly, "No, it's not." He goes, "I was given that name in a ceremony."
You're not
You're-
Dances with Wolves, man.
Yeah,
it's like
fucking
the
you
worst
Shenanigans.
version. It's Shenanigans. Did they give you the heart glasses too?
Yeah, the only Shenanigans that he's
There should be
Like-
it's an Irish bar called Shenanigans.
I know.
Fine.
the only Shenanigans that guy's doing is he's doing like a heroic dose of mushrooms and passing out, and everybody else just gets to go about their business.
Well, who's that? No, he's up to Shenanigans.
No, it's just Shenanigans.
Yeah. All right. So
So I'm going to. I've
Death
never
Valley.
been there.
Okay.
I've never been there, but I'm going to still assume that that's better than anywhere Shenanigans is.
All right. Death Valley then. Death Valley versus Redwood National Forest.
God, I haven't been anywhere.
So Redwood is.
I lived too long on the East Coast.
Redwood is Northern California, but on the coast. So you can watch
Oh,
whales
then
from there.
those are like the oldest.
They have huge redwoods. Not
Where
as
would
big as
I
the
rather go?
Not as big as sequoias, but they're very
I'm
big
gonna
trees.
stick with
but you're
Pop,
on the
dude.
coast,
I'm going to stick with Pop.
so not coastal whale watching. You're
I
going to Death
love
Valley.
the desert, dude.
Okay.
The only time I ever felt connected with nature is I was doing a film shoot, and we were scouted out at Red Rock Canyon
Oh yeah.
outside of Vegas. And I never understood nature at all because, we lived in the fucking hood, whatever.
Red Rock is a national park too.
Oh, I mean, for me, that shit wins. It's like Mars.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna keep Death Valley, dude.
Okay. Death Valley versus the Sequoia National Forest. Now you get
Ah,
all of the
fuck
giant
off,
sequoias.
dude.
General Sherman, all of the 100 giants. It's mountains versus the desert at this point. These are like the best mountain ranges in California.
Look, here's the deal. I love the desert. It's my favorite environment. If somebody's like, where could you? I would move to high desert. I don't need water.
So Vegas.
Yeah, you just alcohol, dude. You don't need
Vegas
water.
is high desert.
No, I love high desert. Like Santa Fe, New Mexico is high desert. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. I'm going Sequoia, dude.
You're going Sequoia over Death Valley?
Yeah, because I've been there and I understand the gravitas of what it is.
Okay.
And I do love the woods. I've spent time in the woods.
So this is going to be an interesting final. That was
Oh, no.
okay. So the last one is Sequoia National Park versus Yosemite.
I've never been to Yosemite.
You know, you have Half Dome. You have all of the best mountain climbing.
Well, I've never been, and I would
El
assume.
Capitan.
Oh, by the way, one thing I'm never going to do is any of the worst mountain climbing. I'm not going. I would think if in general you probably would pick Yosemite.
That's the most popular
However,
destination.
I will say that I've never been, so I can't vote it. I would take Death Valley over Yosemite.
Okay, so Death Valley would beat Yosemite, but the Sequoias beats everybody.
There's something about those fucking trees, dude.
They're pretty spectacular.
It's pretty crazy.
People that haven't seen them, like, I remember taking a picture with my 4 kids when they were younger. We were inside of
And
one of the
LeVar
trees.
Burton.
Yeah, inside of one of the trees because it had.
I
burned.
mean, had I been to the other places, I probably wouldn't. But I'm going to go with somewhere I've been.
You've been to several of these, which is interesting. All right, so here's 2 bonus ones. Okay, outside of California.
Okay.
So you got Sequoia.
Yep.
Sequoia versus Yellowstone.
Never been.
Have you driven through Wyoming?
No. Whenever we did cross country shit, we always you dip below that
Go
shit.
below it.
We would do like Missoula down into, Idaho, and then
And go
into,
below
into
through Utah,
Colorado.
Colorado.
Yeah.
Okay, I always wanted to go to Yellowstone. It looks.
I mean, of course.
beautiful.
I look. I love all this shit.
All right, then I go.
Anywhere white people go,
with the sandals, with the Teva sandals.
Anywhere-
Tevas.
I'm going Tevas.
Tevas with the Teva sandals.
I'm doing Tevas, but I think I want to say Tevas, but I know it's Tevas.
Is it because they're like? Are they
It's like Stussy versus Stussy.
Stussy's right?
Yeah,
Isn't
but
it?
on the East Coast, kids will say Stussy.
Yeah, but they also say Houston instead of Houston.
I know. Or what's the other one? Oh, no, what's the one in L.A.? Wiltshire versus Wiltshire.
Wilshire versus Wilshire.
Wait, so what's the other one?
All right, so the second bonus one is we'll go Sequoias versus the Grand Canyon.
Never been, but I mean, it's a Grand Canyon.
Mom and Dad took me when I was under a year old, and they're like, "You've been there." It's the only time I've ever been.
I think it was in her stomach,
Yeah. So
and I hated it because I already had the
it's
fear of
vastness.
heights.
My wife has a fantastic picture. Her family went to the Grand Canyon, and they have a picture of a man standing on the edge of the canyon, but he only has one leg. He's just
Oh.
balancing there, and they're like, "This guy is like the bravest man in the entire world, or he's about to end it all."
Yeah, I would think for me, the Grand Canyon, I'd be like, okay, cool. I don't love heights.
You can ride mule down trails in the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
Do you know you can't force a mule to go off of a cliff, but horses you can?
Oh, you could push a mule off of anything, dude.
I don't know, man. They're stubborn. It's a stubborn animal.
Stubborn mule.
So this feud on TikTok with all of these channels really got me
I love
interested
it,
in going
though.
to national parks and like doing
Well,
this
let's
like
go.
more
Let's
outdoorsy
Let's
stuff.
do a road trip. Let's film it.
We'll get some granola,
By granola, do you mean like
M&Ms, and seeds
hot
and
white
stuff.
girls with
I like it.
dreadlocks?
I think once you get that granola, it's the guys that have the.
The
dreadlocks.
problem with growing up the way we grew up,
is that what we can't. Well, here's the.
you
here's-
cannot find an attractive white girl with dreadlocks attractive.
Yeah.
You're like, no, you don't know. What
well,
you're-
the other
fuck
problem
up.
growing up is like my wife and I. We have a camping trip planned.
What?
In April?
Where you
and
going?
We're gonna go to Lake Lopez. Just me, her, and the baby.
That feels like a fake lap. Did you just like
No, it's
wet your lawn in the backyard called
no.
it Lake Lopez?
No, it's above Rio Grande.
That also sounds fake.
Oh, it's all part of San Luis Obispo area. There's a whole
Okay.
bunch of lakes in that area, but they shoot.
Oh, that's why you had that's why you got the tent.
yeah. We're gonna glamp.
Okay. Do
So
you need a
she,
fishing pole? Because I have yours.
you have
It's right
mine?
there in
Yeah.
the corner.
I do. So we're gonna go camp for a couple of days, and what I told her was, I want to like camp and just do stuff at the campsite for the most part because I feel like we grew up day tripping everywhere, so it was about getting as much in as
We
possible.
never got to hang out.
So if we went to
No.
the beach, we went to the beach for like an hour.
There was never a spa element.
No, we didn't sit
no
down.
relaxing.
There was no relaxing. It was
No.
go do this.
It
Okay,
wasn't-
we've done that.
It
now let's
wasn't
do this.
horrible. It was super fun.
It was a busyness.
But it was busy. You did shit. You
So-
never had the like
right.
decompression.
Going camping would be like set things up, then drive into town, eat, shop, do all that, and then you just slept in a tent. It wasn't like
I know, but like even when our
I don't remember
little
cooking.
brother, even our little brother and I went camping last year.
and you guys were like you just found a spot to camp, right? Like
No, no,
BLM
no.
ground, or you had a campsite.
No, it was up in the Sequoias.
Oh, okay.
No, we had a campsite, but also it was like one of the things we were like, well, I don't want to just go in a tent. Like we caught our food.
Right.
Like the going into town part, you're like, well, that doesn't feel like.
That's what
fun.
I'm saying. As I've gotten older, I want to like
You want to
spend
attach
the
yourself
time
to
there.
nature.
I want to spend time in the thing. I
But
want to go fish. I
Are you
want to hike
worried
a
that you
little
won't
bit.
be able to provide for your family and nature?
Well, we'll bring food just in case.
Like some cold cuts.
Yeah, that's right, man.
Some bologna.
Eggs, some sausage. We'll just bring some food.
But
I'm
we
gonna
did.
bring food.
We definitely caught our food, and we had steaks on the backup.
Yeah,
But
you
we
gotta
did.
have-
Brian caught us some fish. I did not cut it. I found the fish.
Well, that's good. I'm not good at any of it. I want to get better at it, but like I think the only way to do that is actually just go do it. You got to spend like to me this is this transition where I'm at. It's nice having a little kid again and going well, like I have a 20-year-old, I got a almost Marine, I got another kid in college, and then I have a 8th grader that's in junior high, and then I have a toddler. And the toddler likes outdoor stuff. He likes sticks and going for walks and rocks, and he likes all of that stuff. And my wife grew up doing that stuff,
Right.
and I like it. I just have no experience in it.
Well, you don't
So
feel. I would if you're like me. You don't feel. I enjoy it too, but I don't feel connected to it.
No, but I have a weird draw.
I do
There's
too.
anytime I'm there, I love
but
it.
this comes.
I love it.
But this comes back to our constant theme of this podcast, which is we're not real men.
No. I like there's something
Right?
there's something about I would like to fish and catch a fish in the wild.
Oh yeah. By the way, it's not that fucking hard, dude.
Yeah, but
I've done it.
I mean, I've done it a couple of times in my life, but like, I want to like where I know what I'm doing. You know, like it's like
Oh no,
you know when
it's-
you catch something where you're like, I don't really know what I did to do it.
no. But okay, yeah. But for me, the catching part's easy. It's the touching the fish part.
I thought that was going to be a bigger issue, but having little kids, and
You
then
have to
catching
do it
fish,
'cause you
just-
wanna-
you just do it
Because
they
you want to
can't.
be a man.
and they can't do it, and you can't just leave a fish.
if
on a
you
hook.
were, if being a man was on a scale of 1 to 10, what man are you? 10 being man.
Yeah. Are we? I am a good provider.
No. Give me a
So
number.
I'm
1
like,
to 10. 10 being man. 1 being not man.
7, 6,
Pretty
6.5.
good. 6. I'm probably 5.
I would drop, but I drop all of that down because if the world went away, like in a general sense, I can't. I have
Yeah,
the
like
stuff
I'm
to hunt
good.
and fish, but I don't really know how to do any of it.
I'm good in like Pyru country or like around the Crips.
Right. I'm like, do you?
I'm probably like an 8 in the hood.
yeah, I
I'm
can
comfortable there.
I can survive in a neighborhood.
I can survive, but if you're like hike up that hill or I'm like I don't
no,
know.
I'm good at like get up, go to work, get my job done, provide, work.
No,
hard,
but yeah, we
you
understand
know, care
that,
for
but,
my family.
But like those aren't masculine things because people do everybody does those things.
Let's go back like to this kind of outdoorsman. I guess that would be on a.
I feel
on
like
an outdoorsman scale.
1 to 10 outdoorsman.
Oh, like
a 2?
I'm like a 2, yeah.
I'm probably a 1.5, 2.
Yeah, like my problem is I'm like, let's go hike, but I'm like, I need a map on my phone. I'm not off-roading it. I don't really
Yeah,
know how to
no.
get back.
I don't want to do it.
I don't want to come across a wild animal.
Oh no, take a gun, please.
Yeah. So there's a lot of like this weird fear. It's like I like
It's not weird fear, by the way. That's
just
I actually
fear.
feel like that's a regular,
it's a healthy fear.
healthy fear.
I was watching the show. I know we talked about Stephen Rinella and Meat Eater. I was watching it last night, and they were somewhere where there's a bunch of grizzly, Alaska. I think they killed a caribou, and it was in town. It was with Tim Ferriss, the Atomic Habits, or no, 4 Hour Work Week, 4 hour
Oh fuck
cook.
that shit.
Okay, anyways, but he's
that
out
shit
there.
ruined my life for a year.
So Tim Ferriss is with him.
Trying to do everything
So
in 4 hours.
So you know his whole thing. He's like, it's just a productivity book, masquerading with this.
I know, but
thing.
here's the deal: you can't. Let's just pause. Let's pause the hiking thing and the camera thing.
Well, I think it's part of
Let's
it.
go to Tim Ferriss.
He's not an expert in anything.
No, but he's a genius.
Yes.
That's the problem. Is I don't want any more knowledge from geniuses.
No, I want the everyday.
I want a fucking mentally disturbed person that made it work.
Well, this is what I like.
don't want that shit.
Here's what I liked about
I
this.
don't want to know that you're special. Like, okay, you can run a you broke a pull up challenge, or you can carry all the boats like David Goggins. It's not impressive to me that you're punishing yourself because your childhood was shitty. It doesn't. I mean, honestly, like
I agree.
it's not an example of how to live.
I think like they did it because
They had to do
They
it
had to do it
because
for
their demons are darker than our
or
demons.
they're different.
And they're just built different. But the idea that like everybody should be running ultra marathons, fuck yourself, dude.
Yeah, I say you
Like,
go for
that's
it.
not.
I don't want to
what-
fight in the UFC. I respect what they
that's not
do,
a
but I don't want to
balance.
do that.
Oh, I do want to fight in the UFC, and I think I would do pretty well in the 125 division.
yeah,
because I weigh 200
I
pounds.
thought you were talking about 125-year-old division.
Oh, that would
Like
be
you're
right.
fighting
Oh, I would-
centurions.
dude, that'd be great. I wish the UFC had a senior division.
like 50 and over.
There's no weight class.
it's just
50
all
and
it
over.
is though is just guys with CTE.
Yeah,
all
but
those
if you're
guys
gonna-
got bad CTE.
But it's better you take it out.
Everybody's
on an
got
opponent than
everybody's
your
got
family.
no chin anymore. They just one punch knockouts.
I know, but wouldn't you rather have guys with CTE fucking up other guys with CTE than like murdering their family? Like
well, I guess you're not
Chris-
going to get
Chris
more
Jericho
CTE
or
yeah.
whoever it was. Was it Jericho that did
Benoit.
it? Chris Benoit.
You're going to get more CTE, I guess, but like, what's more CTE?
How do you
on
get
top of
more
CTE? That's what I'm
CTE?
saying.
What level of CTE do you think you have?
Probably maybe a 2,
I'm probably like a 6.
6. You've been punched a lot.
Well, I've had a couple concussions.
Yeah.
And yes, punched a lot.
I got hit like just doing taekwondo and stuff.
1 or 2 of those was you punching.
Yeah, I don't think that's right. Outdoor stuff. I want to get better. I would like if I was going to put a number on it, I'd like to go from a 2 to maybe a 3.5 this year.
What does that constitute?
I think camping at a campsite and cooking the food at the campsite and not leaving the campsite during the duration, going hiking or going fishing.
Staying there, surviving, but in a KOA.
Yeah, like it's a controlled environment.
The KOA, it's controlled.
I'm not hiking into the woods and then finding a spot. Like, this is a nice spot. Like, I'm
see-
not at the meat eater thing. And that was my point, was they kill a caribou, they're out hiking, and a grizzly bear is coming into their camp.
Yeah, no.
And Steven Renal is like, man, we got to get back over there. He's got to go confront the grizzly bear
Yeah,
to
no,
drive
I'm
Now,
not a hunter.
That to me, that's a 10. That's a 10.
I think I'm a.
I'm not. I have no desire to be a 10. I don't care. I will sacrifice. You can have everything in the camp. I don't need any of it. That's a 10. I don't want to camp in an area where grizzly bears are at, which probably is an 8.
I think let's see. I lived in the country for a couple of years, few years, so I'm above a 2.
What predators were there?
Just me.
Yeah. Makes you a 4.
Well, you got black bear,
Okay, but they're more
coyote.
I've seen black bear up close.
coyote. I've seen
Terrifying
them up
me.
close to it, and then you have the dire wolves,
Oh,
which are the half
have you
coyotes,
ever
half wolves.
seen a wolf?
Oh,
I've never seen one.
yeah, no, I slept with one once.
I saw a deer right by where your shop was.
Oh, I see
And
deer.
It took off running and it startled me real bad.
Well, I had a deer gave birth in the back of my house.
Car.
This is one of my favorite stories.
You were
It's
like
probably
a
the saddest.
doula?
Do you know? Have I told you a story?
Yeah, you
I
did.
have.
Not on here though. You should tell it.
But she gave birth.
You have a lot of sad deer stories.
There's a lot of deer death back there. Well, when I had to kick the deer in the face to kill it, that was a rough one. It's a whole other story.
What?
Well, the guy, never mind, because the guy stabbed it in the neck, and he
right.
thought he'd killed it because he hit it with his
This
car,
guy?
and he gave a shrug, and he walked into the fucking 7-Eleven, and the deer was still,
Not dead.
deering in a painful way. And then by the time that I walked over there, all the people had started showing up to the coffee shop, and everybody thought I hurt the deer. So it was left up to me. So I had to kick the deer. I didn't. By the way, didn't kill it.
Yeah.
I just tried to foot stomp it. I didn't know what to do. I was so afraid.
More than I think that moves you up the ladder.
I once did
You're like
kick a
willing
deer
to
in
put
the
a deer,
guts.
but you're willing to try and put a deer out of its misery.
Yeah. Well, no, you have. I mean,
You're probably 3.5.
I wanna
you
say
might be
you
a 3.5.
I want to say you have to, but I didn't. I tried.
Yeah, but I think you're a 3.5 for trying.
No, I definitely kicked that deer in the solar plexus like a motherfucker, dude. Just
like you were
hoping.
mad at it.
It was bleeding out, too.
Oh, it's horrible.
Gurgling and making
All right,
weird
and
noises.
the other story is worse. The baby one.
What was the baby
The deer
one?
gives birth.
Oh, yeah, the deer gave birth, and I was... I had a girlfriend, and she didn't want to move to the country, but I had an opportunity. I had to take it. And, I was broke. I had to take it. And she hated the Poconos because she grew up going to the Poconos. This is in Pennsylvania. And she begrudgingly came up. She came up, and that morning, I swear to God, the first night, we wake up in the morning, we hear this sound. And we're like, what the fuck? Because I lived in the town.
Yeah.
Like a 2-street town.
Yeah.
Small town. I heard this noise. I go out in my backyard, and I see this mama deer, and she literally just gave birth to a doe. And I go in, and I say, hey, babe, you got mama deer just
come
gave
check
birth.
this thing
Gotta
out."
check this out. So we're out there and we're watching, and then at some point the mama deer sees us, and the mama deer just takes a beeline. But it was in the town, which was like one road this way, one road that way.
Yeah.
And these are throughways.
Right.
So they weren't like not traveled roads.
Yeah.
Well, mama deer bolts out, immediately gets hit by a car.
Oh my God.
And I looked to my girlfriend, and I was like, well, circle of life. Dude. I've never been so in trouble in my life, dude.
That's a good spot to end, I think.
Yeah, that's probably
funny.
good. Circle of life,
Circle
baby.
of life. All right, let's see what happens. Outdoor time.
It's brother to brother.